Welcome back to the Unbiased Opinion, where everyone's opinion is biased except ours. This is our 24th episode, and this is part two of the Daniel Craig Bond movies. We'll be covering Spectre and No Time to Die. With that being said, I am Colin.
I'm Craig.
Where's that other
And
guy?
I'm Daniel.
There he is, there he is. So to summarize what we talked about in part one, Casino Royale, right? Really good, really good. Quantum of Solace, kind of bad. And Skyfall, really, really good. Is that correct to say, boys?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
So now we have Spectre, which is the fourth Daniel Craig Bond movie, and this one's kind of bad again. At least for me, I thought it was kind of bad.
I mean, uh, it's to me it's the third best. So,
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
well, because I
I
mean,
didn't.
if you compare like obviously Casino Royale, Skyfall, then
Well, we'll get to
Oh,
the other one. I know I can already
I
see
mean,
where you're
is this
going.
your third favorite? If you could call it favorite
This one, uh,
or
I
third
don't know.
best?
You would
I
think I would like this one a lot because this is the first Bond movie I saw in theaters, and even when I saw it in theaters, I thought it was okay. It's very long. It feels very long. And there are just a lot of choices that I did not like in this movie.
I was just gonna say I agree with Craig. It's the third best one in the series.
Oh.
Not that it's saying much, but I mean,
Yeah, with what's left after Casino Royale and Skyfall.
Right, right. So I guess let's go into what we like about the movie. I think, at least for me, I think it starts off pretty well up until the opening credit sequence.
it's like barely anything.
So it's like the first 10 minutes or so. 10 minutes.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes is good. The next 2 hours is terrible.
So you just like the helicopter fight scene and that's
I
it?
think it starts off really well with the one shot of Bond in Mexico City. I don't know why it's a one shot. There's really no purpose to it other than the fact that they can do it. Even though it's not really a one shot, you could tell when they cut it. But I thought it was really cool. I thought it was cool when Bond was on the seal or on the roof and it was tracking him. I thought that was pretty cool. And the music too. And then everything else kind of just falls apart.
D- Did you like the helicopter sequence?
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
No,
Especially when
we
he kicks
talked
that
about this.
guy out and he dies
He
by
kicked
a
out
horrible
both
death.
guys.
Yeah, he dies a horrible death.
I was gonna ask, like, did they actually film in a real helicopter, like above a city, or
Yes,
like above?
that was mostly real, except when it was probably on Daniel Craig. That was just some insert in front of a blue screen. But the actual helicopter flying around is real.
And I guess they probably didn't do over a city, but like those are the because I saw
No,
this
they
like one of the
did. They
most.
actually did it there.
See, like this is what I don't get. Like it's one of the most expensive movies ever made, and stuff like that. It's just I don't understand why you have to do it over a city. I mean,
Well, because
I okay,
the Bond movies are known for their stunts and actually filming there. I guess they've always been that where they film on location. They do real stunts. They try to do as much practical elements as possible. And
well,
even though, yeah, Craig, you go. Sorry.
I get that. It's more of just like, do you really have to do it over a city? Like, can't you just like maybe fly it over like a field or something? I mean,
I think the people were digitally inserted, but they actually shot it there at that location.
'cause could you imagine like it was Mexico City, right? Like they go to Mexico City, like there's this helicopter like spazzing out in the air. They're like, what is going on? No,
Yeah,
no worries. We're just filming a scene,
we're just filming a Bond movie.
and the plane's gonna crash. And don't worry about it. It doesn't crash, but it's just like I don't understand. Again, if you
Yes.
do like a cost benefit analysis, it's just really like the most practical and cheapest way to. I mean, I understand movies. You don't always do the most practical thing, but I feel like that's like a waste of money. I know it's like harping on something weird, but I just feel like
It
it's a
could all
waste.
just been CGI. It would have been like the same effect.
Well,
Yeah.
like I understand you want to do practical stuff, but like at least do it like in a an easier to film place.
Yeah. I don't
You,
know.
you,
we're
you,
using
ima-
part one. I know.
you imagine if it was the same, if it was they did Quantum of Solace editing with the helicopter over the city. Oh
Oh
Oh my
God.
God.
god. Oh my god. But I guess another positive, of course, Daniel Craig, his performance, and that's really it for me. I didn't really like a lot of this movie.
Because I remember from the last one, I said I liked the new M, and he was. I think he was okay in this or good enough.
Oh yeah, that's true. Emma's okay.
Because
I
he was
guess
actually
I guess
not
I liked
stupid.
Moneypenny and Q in this too. Q actually helps him and is with him. They have nice little banter. I guess I like that too.
So I guess just outside the agency, Colin, you just really
I
didn't
don't like
care for it.
anything else really. Yeah.
You didn't like the no dialogue villain.
Oh, Mr. Jinx or Mr. Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Jinx.
I thought that was weird. Like that the fact he wouldn't say anything. Like I understand maybe he's not gonna talk or like make jokes, but like there were a couple times in the movie where like he should have said something, but he just like kind of like pointed, like didn't say anything, or like just gave a look.
That didn't
I
bother
don't
me
know.
that much. I didn't really
Oh, it didn't
care.
bother me a lot, but to me it was just becoming like, okay, it's I guess they're just having him. He's not gonna
Is
say
he a
anything.
mute?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
this
mean,
came out like after the Winter Soldier, where they're trying to copy that.
but I mean, I agree with you, Colin. Overall, it's an okay movie. So comparing it to the other ones that are bad, it's not as bad as them. So that's why it more of just takes the third spot. It's like the bridge between the good and bad.
Well, it's even like it comes off the heels of another great Bond movie, and then you compare it to that, and you're just like, this one's kind of bad. Same with Quantum of Solace. It comes out immediately after Casino Royale, and it's just not that good.
I mean, at least this one you could kind of follow what's going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, that's true. The editing is a lot better in this one. It wasn't distracting like Quantum of Solace. Anything else you guys liked about it before we get into some negatives?
I mean, yeah, I guess I agree for the most part. I did enjoy the action. I did like the train fight scene. Um, but other than that, really, it was just kind of eh. But so just the action and Daniel Craig, of course. But
Craig?
Yeah, I don't really have much. Like I said, I like the new M. That's why, again, when I say I like the most, mainly because of like Skyfall in this movie. The last one,
We'll get
it
to.
really
Don't
didn't
worry.
really.
We'll get to that. So
That's what I have.
negatives. I thought first things first. The opening title song is horrible. I don't know how that won an Oscar. It is one of the most boring title sequence in a Bond film ever, and it was too on the nose with the Spectre and the Nine Eyes, and the octopuses or octopi, whatever. Did not like it. It was even when I first watched it, I was like, I could see where all this money went to. Like, how much that must have cost to do the opening title.
the benefits of skipping the intro.
This is one of the only times I would agree you could skip. This one was just terrible. The tone, it was it, the tone was not how it was in the other three movie. Say what you want about Quantum of Solace, but at least it felt tone wise consistent to Casino Royale.
Yeah, I
This
was gonna
one,
say. Yeah, go
not
ahead.
so
Sorry.
much. Yeah, this one it was too wacky and too goofy at points. It felt like a Pierce Brosnan movie, and that's never a good sign.
Yeah, and I guess the first indicator of that came in the opening scene when like he falls out of the building, just lands on a couch. Like
Yes.
it was just like I was just like, wait, like it for a Bond movie, like in the intros, they're all pretty serious and everything, and then he just lands on a couch and gets up and walks away, which is fine for like the first joke, but I do agree, like the tone, and then like the movie that comes after it, the tones just really did were they just felt so off for like a Bond movie.
Yeah. Craig, you got anything to say?
I mean, besides, I was going to talk about like the main villain because he was
Yes,
it was
Blofeld. Yeah, we
very
could talk about Blofeld.
very odd, like how bad he was. Like, and just like the actor too. Like, I've only seen the actor in Inglorious Bastards and part of Django. and he was great. Like I think he's
Well,
a
he won an
good
Oscar for I
actor.
think both actually.
Yeah, like he's a good actor, and here it's just like they like it's almost like they had him on drugs or something, where like he couldn't like act or like say anything. Like he was just like so like like mute or like mellow. Like he just had no emotions or anything. It was like the weirdest thing.
Well, I wasn't going to talk about his performance. I was going to talk about the villain himself, Blofeld, and retconning him as Bond's adopted brother was such a massively dumb idea.
Yeah, when I
And
heard that, I was like, it just it felt like a joke. Like it just didn't make any sense. Like he's
I'm
from
the
Austin
author of your
Powers.
pain. Like what?
Because I immediately thought of like Doctor Evil and Austin Powers.
Because I
Like
know they're trying to connect all the movies. Because Skyfall, you could go into that one blind and not watch any other ones and know what's going on. It's not connecting anything. So I guess in this one they wanted to connect all of them, and it just doesn't work. Especially if you retcon Blofeld as Bond's adopted brother. It's just honestly, it's pretty silly.
and then his motivation too for hating him. Oh, because you're my adopted brother. You were like the cuckoo bird. It's like what? It's
Yeah,
like,
the
That
cuckoo.
annoyed me. He kept saying that cuckoo. I was like, oh god.
like so what is your adopted brother? Like you have to like start this like huge terrorist organization just
You
to
see,
screw with him his
right,
entire
his
life.
father loved him more than him.
That's right.
Even though it said, I'm pretty sure in the movie he said he only spent like 2 winters with them.
You're probably
It,
right.
it was
That's
so
the thing too.
it wasn't like he was raised with him. Like he lived with him for 10 years, and it was 10 years of the father loving him more than him. It was like 2 winters. They said something so short.
But even then, say the father did love him more. It's like that's it. I mean, I understand that's not nice to have, but it's like, is that really the reason where you have to like start this terrorist organization, screw with like him his entire life? Like, I don't really feel like it's an equal, equal and opposite reaction.
Especially when he killed his father before he started the terrorist organization. Like you got your vengeance. Why are you taking it out on Bond? He
Yeah,
was
really.
orphaned. He didn't have a choice.
Oh, and another thing too that really bothered me that they said Silva was part of Spectre, and I thought that was massively dumb because Silva, for the most part, was working independently, and he didn't care. Again, as I said last week, he didn't care for Bond. He just wanted M. So why would he be a part of Spectre?
Yeah, it's another thing too, like another weird like retcon or like change that I didn't like either. Because again, it kind of ruins like the motivation from the previous movie.
And
Yeah, yeah. There
didn't
you
he
go.
try to take credit for like? Never mind. Wait, continue your thought.
Oh, I was just gonna
Uh,
say I didn't like how they lumped Silva and Spectre.
Oh, and didn't they say like you try to take credit too for like Vesper Lynd's death? Like he just
that's what I was gonna say. Is he tried to basically like taunt Bond with it as if he got Vesper killed, but
Yes.
Vesper kind of got herself killed.
Another dumb thing too. This movie again is obsessed with Vesper. They just can't let her go. We had one whole movie with her after Casino Royale, which is fine on paper. Quantum of Solace and Bond dealing with that. That's fine. That's immediately after that. Whatever. But this one, and they still have those pointless references to her, and how Blofeld is the author of his pain and is pulling all the strings is so massively dumb and poorly executed.
I just don't know what they were. I just again like they're trying to connect them, but like it comes off so like so poorly thought out that it feels like a parody or something.
They're probably trying to go for that personal connection with Bond and Blofeld, but it's just
Like I said, I get it. Like I understand. Like it's clear as day what they're trying to go for. It's just like it's so poorly done. Like you think it's like a parody.
it was so weird too when he has Bond strapped up and he wants to use those little drills into his head to make him forget his loved ones. It's like, is this a joke? What is happening?
Just shoot
Yeah.
him. Like what,
You have him chained. Just shoot him in the head.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he actually hit him in that one nerve that would have made him forget the girl? But Bond,
I don't think he finished it or something.
uh, yeah, I just thought that like sequence was so annoying.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
this
then he
one, yeah,
escapes and he
creepy though.
loses an eye too. Like after he escapes.
Well,
I don't
that's
know. How he,
how Blofeld's supposed to be, as a scar on his eye.
but like he survived like this. The building getting collapsed and destroyed, and that's it. Like he gets a scratch on his eye. I mean.
Well, he threw a watch at him, and that went off.
Oh,
Remember his
that, yeah, that
exploding
too.
watch? Which, by the way, that explosion at the Spectre base is real. It holds a Guinness World Record for largest explosion caught on, or for a movie, something like that. And Daniel Craig and Madeline Swan were actually standing in front of it.
Well, I mean, because those are just like gas explosions, right? They're not like real explosions.
Yeah, I think so, but still, it seems like a huge liability issue.
I mean, did they actually film in the Sahara or like some desert?
No, I'm just saying, like with the actors, something could go horribly wrong, and then your whole movie's done. Daniel Craig gets like really hurt.
Well, that's why they use like the gas. Like it's supposed to like gas explosions like look impressive, but they're really not dangerous to stand by per se.
All right, whatever, nerd.
No, no, like because
No, I
like a
know.
real explosion, like they send a shockwave and it feels like getting hit in the chest. Like that's more lethal, like shrapnel flying at you. That's why they have the gas explosions.
What are you, an arsonist?
Maybe because like yeah, like it's like behind the scenes stuff that I don't know I've seen over the years. And yes, I got caught for arsony.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Madeline Swan, I thought she was okay to bad. I thought her and Bond didn't really have any chemistry, and this flaw carries over to the next movie after this too. I all we really know about her is she's the daughter of Mr. White. That's really
Who
it.
kills himself?
Yeah, he shoots himself in front of Bond because he has like he had some kind of poisoning.
Yeah, I think he found like something, it was like lithium or something in his like phone, some chemical.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Mm.
He's dying and kills
But
himself.
yeah,
They're everywhere, everywhere.
I'm surprised that they like. I'm surprised like Bond found him so easy. Like those people just didn't just kill him.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, weren't they poisoning him? Like why don't just kill him?
well, you see, Craig, he needed Bond to find him so he can continue his personal vendetta against him.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
they needed Bond to find Mr. White so he could reveal that he has a daughter, so then he can go with his daughter to l'Americaine, where they could find the secret access, or I don't even remember what they did at the hotel.
It was
They found some like I think he punched a wall or something, and then like he saw that there was like a hidden room behind the wall.
But what did they
yeah.
get from the hidden room? I remember that. Because that's when he
Uh,
sees the stupid Vesper tape, the interrogation tape. I don't remember
I forget.
why they were there. I know it was important because they kept on saying l'Americaine, and they thought it was a person, but it was a hotel.
you
Nah.
know, I should know, but I don't care enough. Like when it comes to movies I don't like, I don't particularly remember them well.
See, the more and more we
Oh wait,
talk about
wait! It
this,
was. I think it was to find where the base was to track it.
Blofeld, yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah.
The more and more I talk about this movie, the more and more I'm thinking like I might think Quantum of Solace is better than this.
Oof.
Because at least Quantum of Solace had an excuse as to why it was kind of bad. This movie doesn't have an excuse. It was just poorly thought out, if you ask me at least.
I mean, I guess the writing's bad in both, but like this one doesn't assault me, so
That's true. But this is 42 minutes longer than Quantum of Solace.
yeah, I guess gotta pick your
42
poison.
minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, what do you know?
I don't like this one that much. That's what I know.
And what was the other character like?
Miss C, the other villain.
Yes, see.
C.
Wait,
I
like
forget
he's
what his
so
name was, and he's then Bond is like, no, I'll call you C.
Oh, yeah, we forgot. I forgot about that other plot. They were trying
like
to shut down
he was
the
so
M16,
obviously the bad guy. No, like they were trying to merge
MI6,
MI6 and MI5. But he was like, "Oh yeah, let's join this like world governments like secure sharing security information." Like that's so obviously a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like NATO.
Well, no, because like they had like South Africa, because that was like the plot point where South Africa is the only one that voted no. There was clearly like a false flag attack in South Africa. Then South Africa's okay, now we'll join.
Yeah.
which is like very clearly a bad idea.
I guess it was just to give M and them something else to do.
Oh yeah,
Because
probably.
they were the ones that stopped him at the end.
Well, M shot him or something, or he kicked him off a building or something like that.
Didn't like he take his like hidden gun too, like what Bond did in Casino Royale?
Now I know what C stands for. Cowardice, or he said something like that. Yeah, because then he says, I know what M stands for. Moronic. Oh. Oh my god.
But again, he was like so obviously the bad guy. Like I don't even know why they tried to like fake you out. Like you clear as day he was the bad guy. Like
He was
oh,
literally telling M how irrelevant the Double O program is, just so they could merge.
and he was like saying, yeah, let's have this like giant security network to like spy on people, like share information with like our enemies or allies, quote unquote. So yeah, because that always works out well.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like I was gonna say, like the ending's part two where like he said how like bad their kind of chemistry was, and like they really weren't, I guess. And he always like seduced them, but like it didn't really feel like it was that convincing. Then having Blofeld or whatever his name was tie up the girl, like save the girl or escape. It's
That was so massively stupid, too. I forgot about that.
like
Yeah.
obviously he's gonna save her, but it's like he's not really that attached to her.
He
Like
literally set up the whole building with pictures of, like, Vesper and M just to taunt him.
I know. Don't forget too. He had like there was like a red arrow saying like Bond pointing him this way.
And then they jump off and they land on, like, a safety net in it. I
But you
completely
see, he
forgot
was gonna
about that
save
at the
her
end.
because he
He
made
made
a
a
promise to
promise.
Mr. White.
That's right. You know, originally this was supposed to be the last Daniel Craig movie, or Daniel Bond movie. Did you
well,
know
isn't it
that?
because like they kept like throwing more money his way, right?
Yeah, because this was Bond 24, so this one made references to the past 23 Bond movies. And some of the references are as much as C saying to M, do you think you have your agents running around with their license to kill? It's referencing to a license to kill. Or the outfit Bond was wearing in Tangier, it was the same outfit Timothy Dalton wore in The Living Daylights. So it was all those kind of like subtle to not so subtle references.
Yeah, I would have gone over my head.
Yeah.
It would have been cherry on the top if one of the guys was like, "It seems like this is your last mission, Mister Bond." And then they look at the camera. But...
You're ready to die another day, Bond? Tomorrow never dies. I don't know.
This is our new gadget called Goldfinger.
Doctor No. Yeah, so
Yeah, not good.
yeah,
Yeah.
Spectre not so great. And any final thoughts?
Yeah. But there's really not much else to say. It's okay.
I can't believe they spent like 300 million making this.
Yeah, it's pretty baffling how much money they threw at this just for this kind of result.
That's why I get like if you're gonna like spend this much on a movie, like try to find ways to save money. I
Or
mean,
at least hire better screenwriters.
that too. I mean,
Okay.
at least it wasn't Kurtzman and his cronies.
Oh god no. Okay. And now for Daniel Craig's last Bond movie, No Time to Die. What did you guys think about No Time to Die?
I did not like it at all.
Oh man.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
Especially as a finale too. I mean, it just was not good. Be good
yes,
going
I
on.
think it could have worked in certain ways if they just refined the script a lot more and the villain a lot more. Cuz a lot of what it's trying to do, I like. I like how it's directed. I thought that was very fine. It's just the villain and his plot is just horrendous. It
I,
was
I was
so badly done. Yeah, you go. There you go.
I was also gonna say, also the tone and Bond himself. Bond felt very out of character for a lot of this movie, but
I agree in a little bit. It seemed like he was just done with everything. He was more
well,
cynical.
also too, he was like very jokey and like it seemed like very, I don't know, like at times it's like it seems like the tone with him was off. Like he was making jokes with everyone and everything, and it was like I don't know, Bond. He the humor is kind of like very quick witted with him, but it's not like this like warm feeling like where I guess towards everyone else. I don't know. I felt like the tone was off with him at points.
The forced humor did, at least with Bond, it didn't bother me too much because, like I said, he just felt done with it. He felt like he didn't really want to be there, so he's just making whatever time he has with it, try to make it enjoyable for himself. I don't know. That didn't him. He didn't bother me. It was
Did
just
you
everything else.
did you enjoy the Vesper for the fifth straight movie
Oh.
mentioned?
Well, no, not the fifth straight because she wasn't mentioned at all in Skyfall. Thank God. But yes, it starts off with Vesper and him going to her grave and him saying, "I miss you," and then he somehow survives that explosion, even though it happened right
Yeah,
in front of his face.
point blank.
I don't know how that didn't kill him. I thought the beginning, it started off, aside from Vesper, besides mentioning her, I thought the opening. Oh wait, I completely forgot. It starts with young Madeline. I completely forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking about the chase scene in Italy. I, Again, that was okay, I guess. With showing Safin, I don't know how he survived that again. I don't know, but I feel like this movie has a good setup. It just has poor execution and doesn't know what to do with its setup.
That was that opening. The one thing that really bothered me, um, because later in the movie, so Safin, from
Well, we'll
the
get to him
begin.
later. If you want to say
No,
anything
no,
about
no, no.
Safin, we'll get to
No.
him.
I was just gonna say something about the age, but never
Oh
mind.
yeah, go for the age then. Or how he doesn't age at all.
Yeah, that was the one thing that really bothered me because from the opening scene, he's clearly like at least 25 years older than this girl. Madeline, she's probably what, like 10.
Sure, yeah, sure.
Yeah, 20 like about 25 years have passed or something.
Yeah, and he literally, her and him look the same age by the last scene. Like they
I
I was
mean,
like,
Rami
what?
Malek is 40 and he hasn't aged since he was in Night at the Museum, like 2005. That little thing doesn't bother me. When I don't know, just
It was just glaring to me. Like this guy is clearly supposed to be like at least 2 decades older than her, and they just somehow by the end of it they look the exact same age.
I thought the chase scene in the beginning with the car and everything, I thought that was really well done. And I liked the opening, the song too. It was okay, but I thought the visuals were nice. I think this song also won an Academy Award. I don't know how, because I guess it's Billie Eilish. Sure, why not? But the song from Casino Royale did not win an Oscar, which is really shameful.
Well, movies were better back then.
That's true. And everything else I just didn't really like about it. A giant mixed bag for me.
Well, I was gonna say like the beginning where he immediately assumes that she betrayed him for some reason.
Well, Craig, we need a plot to get going.
I get that, but like it felt so out of left field. Like it was clearly your fault. You must have betrayed me. When like where these people can like spy on you from anywhere in the world. Like I don't know why you'd assume she had to betray you.
Yeah, Bond is.
Didn't really make
He was
sense.
particularly dumb in this movie too. Way dumber than he normally is. Because I guess we could go to. I guess another thing. Should we just go to negatives then? I don't really have any positives.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
I don't like how dirty they treated Felix. He
I
died
was
like
gonna
a
say.
punk. It honestly felt like
Yeah.
it felt insulting the way they killed him.
Reminded me of Mathis.
Yeah, it's just like Felix didn't deserve to die like that.
I mean, at least Mathis's his body would get recovered at some point. No way for
Yeah,
Felix.
he's lost at sea.
Probably the bottom of the Atlantic.
But what I don't understand is if that guy, Logan Ash, didn't want to blow his cover, why was he like screaming like a chimp about like Bond, don't talk to this guy? He could have killed both of them if he just shut up. Like I don't understand. He's like,
Or
Bond, don't talk to him, don't interrogate this guy.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And then of course, like he gets like he was just shot in the stomach, right? I mean,
I think he was shot in
once.
the chest.
Oh, I thought that was the stomach. And of course, like yeah, he dies like a punk.
Yeah, it honestly it felt so disrespectful what they did to Felix. He did not deserve to die like that. If he had like had to hold back something and say, "I'll see you later, brother," he said something dumb like that. I don't know. Just I feel like Felix should have died in self-sacrifice
Or
instead
at
of
least
getting
like
shot in the chest and then falling down the stairs of a ship.
or if if you're gonna kill him, at least let him die at the end with Bond, because like Felix was in the first movie and he brought Bond on this mission. I think it would have been better had they done kind of a buddy buddy thing, and then they both die at the end in a in a more heroic way. No,
Yeah.
he just dies midway through the movie and gets left there.
Or just don't kill him, like just to save him.
Well, I feel like a lot of this movie what it's trying to do is it's saying this is the last Daniel Craig movie and we're making sure it's the last one. So let's kill everybody. So we don't open up the room for any possibility of a sequel, or you have those dumb people who think, oh, he could appear in the Daniel Craig or the James Bond multiverse. I'm sure dumb people think that. So they're
People
saying,
actually talk about that?
I don't know. It just feels like
next,
they just want to make sure there's no sequel after this. Let's
Well,
cut
like no one's
everything.
gonna ask for a Felix Leiter movie.
I don't know.
jokes on you guys. Felix is going to be the new Bond villain. I have a vendetta. I was left in the middle of the oceans. Just be titled like Davy Jones' Locker.
Yeah, Felix Leiter in the Davy Jones locker. I also Safin. Let's talk about Safin. He might be one of the worst Bond villains ever. And that's really saying something.
I mean, it's hard to even call him a villain because like he's barely in the movie, and then when he is in it, like it feels like a robot's talking or something. Like I don't know. Like I feel like I was hit up by the uncanny valley where it didn't look like he was a human.
It
Like the way he
seemed
was
like
acting.
the director was more focused on how his makeup looked rather than writing a good character, and how Rami Malek was speaking like so softly, and I don't even know what he was trying to do. What do you call that? It's just him speaking softly and trying to seem creepy, but he just seems like a guy who's dumb. He just seems like he doesn't have enough oxygen in his head.
I mean, it also sounded like he was trying to do an accent, but I couldn't really get what accent he was going for.
So, and his motivation is 100% not justified at any point. He has no reason to unleash this virus on the world if Spectre killed his family. Him killing Spectre, that's fine. That makes sense. Sure, why not?
He got his revenge. Why continue?
Yeah.
But why do it on the whole world? That makes no sense. And this guy, this is the coward that brings Bond to his knees? Are you kidding me?
I was gonna say too, like killing Spectre is a noble thing because they're like obviously evil, but then I don't know, it just made like I said made no sense.
And it was like he weirdly wanted to raise Madeline and Bond's child at the end. Like he was trying to he wanted to show her the garden and he's like, oh, you can stay with me to
But then he
I get
bites her and
what.
then he just lets her go.
Yeah, I was like, what was the point of that?
Well, because if Safin didn't die when she bit him, her DNA is in him now, I guess. so he would be infected by it.
That's something I want to talk about too, like Project Heracles and how it just like there's so much about it is just so wrong.
But before you do, and after I'm done saying, you could go right into that. I forgot one positive. The Cuba scene too. I thought was really well done. I just thought about that. I'm sorry. I thought the whole sequence was fun. That's it. Craig, you can
Oh,
go.
oh, so
Yeah, with Project, I mean, for one, it was M's idea apparently, which that's why I feel like it's like character assassination, where he was like, "Oh yeah, we should not be trusting these world governments. You know, we're beholden to the people." Now he's like, "Oh, let's create this super virus that clearly will never fall into the wrong hands ever, because how would that ever happen?" And something that like it can assassinate anybody anywhere in the world by infecting them with nanobots. Like
Yeah,
it's such a clearly a bad idea. I don't know why
which
he would
which
ever
is
create
also
it.
very counterintuitive to Spectre, because Spectre was all about them keeping the agency alive for the double O's sake. With this new virus, you don't need the double O program at all. What's the point of that?
Or it's not even that. It's like it's so clearly like morally and ethically wrong. Why would you? And of course, it's so easy to fall into the wrong hands. All you need is one person to like
well, they
hit a
literally
couple.
they brought in a scientist who's corrupt.
Yeah,
That guy was weird, and he was like weirdly joking the whole time. That scientist.
he
I don't
reminded
Obercheck?
me
know.
of what's the guy from Arrested Development?
I don't know.
Oh,
Which guy?
I forget. You know the weird guy. I can't forget his name. Tobias Funke.
Oh, he did look like him. He had the same stash. But he was like joking the whole time. He's like, "Oh, you can, don't take me, or you don't shoot me." Like he was like his tone was so off.
Well,
Like he
that didn't
like
really.
he got kicked in the head by a mule and didn't know how to like read the tone.
I would say him and the tone with him was. It was just. I was more distracted at how the Heracles thing was just such a mess and how dumb M was. That was so bad.
Yeah, that I was gonna say they basically just screwed M's character over with that.
And like even like the logic behind it too, like you're infected with nanobots that you can't get rid of. I mean, it's
Well, Craig, are you sure you
robots.
can't get rid of them? Because Q made it very clear, like twice, you can't get rid of them.
But it's so like it's nanobots. You can do if you can destroy like a CPU or a computer, you can obviously destroy nanobots. It might not be easy, but to say you can never get rid of it, I think is just foolish. Like there are ways to get rid of it.
It was like they're really trying to build to the moment of Bond's death, which on paper is fine, but when you introduce this terrible, nonsensical nanobot technology that can target your DNA and kill you,
The other thing too is like how exactly does it spread? I mean, unless it's like from Deep Space Nine, like self-replicating nanobots, like there's a finite number. How do they
well, it's
spread?
like on you. Like once it's on you, it's like not a pheromone. It's like I don't know. If you touch somebody, it passes to them because that's what
But
Bond
like
did. That's what Madeline did to Bond, and that's what Bond did to Blofeld.
No,
no, I get that,
know
but like
I
how
know what
many
Craig's saying. Yeah,
like how like say you infect with like 100, like how exactly you're gonna like keep spreading it to people? It's finite.
I don't know.
Get what I'm saying?
I
Like,
think in the movie's logic, it
I mean,
can
talking about
spread
like a
forever.
virus. Yeah, that's what I didn't get either.
I think so.
Yeah, it's self-replicating nanobots.
I don't
Ron
know.
must have made it.
But I thought it was a bad idea.
yeah.
Oh, it's a
And
horrible idea. It was like it was so distractingly bad.
it was that, and again, like all the villains before, they weren't trying for world domination. This is what this felt like. Again, Lashif just wanted to save himself in a poker game and recoup his losses. Dominic Green just wanted to make money by creating artificial draft. Silva just wanted M. That's all he wanted. He wanted to kill her. And then Blofeld wanted to initiate the Nine Eyes program. And this guy, it goes like full schlock. This guy just wants to kill the world.
For really no, again, like no reason.
I mean, you would have to try really hard to justify the reason to killing a whole population, like the entire world. Like even Thanos just wanted to kill half of all life. He didn't want to kill everybody. Yeah, it's just
So,
it's just a
so
mess.
what did you think of the new 007, Colin,
I
as
didn't
a diehard fan?
I didn't really see. She didn't really replace him. She just took his number.
Yeah, 'cause I remember like the people were talking about like before the movie came out, like she was gonna replace him, like be the new Jane Bond or whatever. Which I was like, if they do that, that is like awful. Like someone
Yeah,
should
but
take him back and slapped for that.
yeah, thankfully they didn't, and she even gives his number back at the end.
I was gonna say up to that point, she was annoying at first when she was like trying to one up him. It seemed on like the mission and everything, but by the end of it, she was fine. Like when she gave it back, like she just was like, "All right, let's work together." You didn't have
Yeah.
to like one up the guy on everything.
My biggest fear going into it, because I saw this in the theaters, was that Bond was going to be the butt of every joke.
Oh yeah, like what they do now.
And thankfully, he really wasn't. I mean, they took a couple shots at him. Like I think her name is Nomi. She said she would shoot you. She would shoot Bond in the knee. That works. Kind of making fun of him that he's an old veteran.
You know, I hate when people talk about that. Like, it's a bit of a tangent, but when people always talk about, oh, to shoot them in the leg, shoot them in the knee, like that's more lethal than shooting someone in the chest or the because then you could hit a major artery in your leg and you would die much faster.
Well, Craig, this is a movie. I,
Oh, I know, but like people legitimately think that's a real way to like to subdue somebody, and it's not. It's more lethal actually.
not if you shoot them in the foot.
I mean, I don't know what the fuck, but like they always talk about shoot them in the like the leg or shoot them in the knee, and it's just it's more
You shoot them in the knee,
lethal.
you're gonna paralyze them. They're
But
not
like
gonna
it's
be
not
able to
even
use
that.
that
But
knee
like
again.
not even
But
really.
if you shoot like a couple inches up, you're hitting a main artery. That person will
No,
die.
no, I'm not disagreeing with Craig. I'm just saying, like, if you shoot someone in the knee, like, good luck reconstructing that.
I don't know, just a bit of a tangent. I hate when people bring that up. Like, I'll shoot you in the knee. Like, you know, that's gonna probably destroy him and kill him. But whatever. All right, continue.
Yeah, like it never it never got to the point where they're just making fun of Bond and everyone was just laughing at him and no, you're old, you're dumb, you're bad.
He takes the gun and throws it over his shoulder.
Yes, there was none of that. She tries to hand him the double O like insignia for his suit. He just grabs and throws it over his shoulder.
No, he takes his license to kill and throws it over his shoulder.
Yeah, it's like an actual license, like a driver's license.
Oh, I got your license, mate.
Thanks, bruv.
One question I did have with regarding the Cuba sequence. Um, so the girl that he was meeting, what was her name again?
Oh god, it's like Paluma.
So so he meets her at that like bar. He's getting changed, or whatever, and she's talking with him. She's like downing the drinks, or whatever. She's talking about how she's she did a couple weeks of training. She's nervous, and then when they get there, she's like a pro. Like she was like on Bond's level of skill. So was she lying about her being like nervous and never doing this before, or did they just disregard that dialogue, the scene before?
I don't know. To me, it just felt like she was like a little bit eager, you know.
Yeah, that was
No,
distracting.
no, no. It wasn't like a knock on the movie. I genuinely was curious. I didn't know if that's how they were trying to play it or.
I think they were just trying to make her like fun and bubbly. I thought she was a lot better than Madeline.
Or know me. I didn't
Yeah,
know
or
that was her name.
Naomi. She should have been in the movie more, honestly.
I thought she was gonna be. I didn't think she was gonna be in for that short sequence. I was like, damn, she was pretty effective. Why did you just leave her in Cuba?
Yeah, can we agree that probably the Cuba scene was the best part of the movie?
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
just to me it's more of just I don't know what like movies obsessions are with filming in Cuba now. I mean, I guess it's probably cheap, but I don't know, like most of them don't really make sense to be
Well,
in
we
Cuba.
all
Like why was
know the critically acclaimed Fast 8 had a sequence in Cuba.
but it's like why would they be I don't know. I like Cuba's not a great place to be. And like, why would this like super secret organization go to Cuba?
Critically acclaimed.
Yeah, I don't know. So, should we talk about the end? The ending.
Yeah, go for it. 'Cause you have so much to say.
Well, are we done talking about Safin? I know we went on a little bit of a tangent, but bottom line, he's terrible. Everything about him is terrible, and he should have been nominated for a Razzie. That's how bad he was, and how nonsensical he was.
Do they still do that?
Yeah, I think they still do the Razzies. I thought, again, on paper, killing off Bond is fine to a degree. I don't think they should have killed him because you don't watch these Bond movies to get a sense of reality. You watch him for escapism, and he's pretty depressed in this movie. And then he just dies at the end. It's just
I know. I felt like you could have given this happy ending with his new wife and daughter.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna say the mirror problem with killing him off in the way that they did was there was no need to wait 5 years for him to have a daughter just for him to die. Just give him the happy ending or don't have the daughter there.
yes. I don't know why. I mean, I guess we can thank Logan for this. Where these older stars now, they have to die in their last movie. That's still a trend, I think. It's going to be a trend for however long. Unless it's absolutely necessary, don't kill off your old star. In
But
this case, it's not necessary.
well, I think usually when the old character dies, they're the mentor. They usually die early on to like motivate the character or whatever. Like Logan, I feel like it made more sense because he's trying to like that girl's gonna be like the new lead or whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm
Bond
not saying
dying
it
means
wasn't.
absolutely
Yeah,
nothing. Like it's really just a squirm out of happiness. And like now his daughter's gonna grow up fatherless. Great.
Yeah, I was gonna. It reminded me of Endgame how they unnecessarily killed Tony, but
I would say this was a lot worse. At least how they
no,
treated Bond than
I meant
Tony.
like more in the arc of like how they waited 5 years for him to have a daughter and then kill him at the end.
But at least he
Yeah.
had those 5 years with his daughter. Bond only spends like a weekend with his daughter, and then he dies.
I felt like it's clearly his daughter, and like Madeline just tried to deny it.
Yeah, like it was like the no point that like did it fake me out. Like oh God, it was actually his daughter. Like it was clear as day. Like it was a twist. It was a very poorly executed twist.
They're also clearly hinting at it when he was at her place and like him and the daughter like bonding a bit. And I was like, all right, what are you trying to hide?
I was just saying. I think with Logan, they started that trend now. Oh God, let's be dramatic in our last movie. Let's kill him.
But again, that's
But
always done.
he has to have a daughter. Or a
Yes,
daughter
Logan was
like,
that was done well. That was fine. I'm just saying. I guess it started that trend. And again, they didn't have to kill him. It just felt like, oh, it's not. We're not making any more. We're officially not gonna have another sequel. Let's just kill him. Because originally there was gonna be Danny Boyle was supposed to direct this, and at the time he stepped down as director, and people thought it was because he wanted to kill off Bond, the studio didn't, so that's why he left. But turns out it was the other way around. He didn't want to kill Bond, and the studio did. That's why he left. Which I agree. It's so dumb to kill Bond. He's like the ultimate superhero. He's pretty much invincible. He never gets hurt. Like, why do you have to kill him?
yeah, I also thought. I was gonna say also how like you to touch on what you said before, Colin, with like how bad this villain was. This is the one that shoots him and kills him basically. Just so disappointing.
Yeah, if this was Silva maybe, or someone like Silva, I would be more okay with it. Because, again, Silva had a very similar background to Bond. But it's just this guy who shoots him.
And then like rubs the nanobots on his face.
He hits the thing in his, whatever, his insurance policy, whatever he called it, to Madeline. And that was it. It was just, I mean, when I saw him in theaters, like the whole theater was like, oh, when he snapped his arm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
But Craig, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, what also would hurt it too is like how contrived it was, where he opens the blast doors, then oh no, they're actually closed, and then oh he got infected. So even if he were to say that, he couldn't go back to his family because of the stupid nanobot thing. Like again, like they were desperately trying to come up with any reason to kind of like justify killing him, and it was just not poorly executed.
Evidently, he did have time to die. Again, I guess with leading up to them killing Bond was not well done. But I think the death scene was okay, where he kind of accepts his fate, and he just gets blown up.
Yeah, they really wanted to beat you over the head with, "Hey, he's dead."
Yeah, really. Again, it just felt kind of disrespectful. Like, this is how he dies. He just gets blown up.
But like you said, it's they wanted to be definitively the last one, but like you could just definitively do it. Like it requires very powerful self-restraint. Just give us happy ending, let it be. You don't have just because the character's alive doesn't mean there has to be a sequel. Like people used to be smarter about this.
And I think the happy ending fits more with the arc of the story arc of through all the movies. How he finally got over Vesper. She died in the first one, and it's like now he can finally be at peace. Just let him retire. Be done with it.
Like there's that plus all the people who would kill him are dead now, so
Yeah,
there's no
Spectre's
reason.
all. Yeah,
Yeah, Spectre's dead. I don't know whoever else would want to kill him is
Blofeld is
also dead.
dead.
Yeah, so he finally got over Vesper, like he said. No more people coming after him, so he can legitimately have this happy ending, but of course not. Seemed like it didn't make sense. Like all this building up for what? To get over Vesper for what? To die, you know, like a punk.
All the heroes in this movie die like punks. Even if they killed Felix, I would have given it a pass, but then they had to go kill Bond.
Well, the problem with Felix is like they just killed him like so like terribly, like like Mathis.
I would say Felix is worse than Mathis.
Oh no, I mean literally like Mathis was used as the meat shield and thrown in a dumpster. I mean that's worse.
That's true. Yeah, I did like the part though where Daniel Craig drops that car onto Logan Ash and crushes him, and he screams terribly.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah that was kind of a good scene too, like just him in the forest.
Again, this movie has great set pieces, and the movie looks nice. The cinematography is well done. Has nice set pieces. It's everything else with this movie. Especially the writing and the villain.
Kind of the more important things, but
Yes, the very important things, because then that's what separates a good movie from a J.J. Abrams movie. This felt like a J.J. Abrams movie, where nothing made sense and the writing was horrible.
the only thing missing is like tons of nostalgia pandering. Like they bring back
They did actually. They did a very on the nose reference to On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is the movie where Bond's wife dies at the end. And they would
oh
say to each other, "We have all the time in the world." And this movie does that too. I guess for you newbies, you wouldn't notice, but
well, because I was thinking like J.J. Abrams, they would bring back like the previous James Bond, or they bring
yeah, Pierce
like
Brosnan would be there or something.
Pierce Brosnan would have been M.
no, it's like a James like oh you're James Bond, I'm also James Bond.
The
Team up.
multiverse?
Yeah.
James Bond.
James Bond, No Way Home, or Far From Home, whatever.
No Time for Home. Yeah, they bring back all the alive Bonds, so they bring back Timothy Dalton, George Lazenby. But then they bring back like a CGI Sean Connery.
Yeah, like a Star Wars Ghost one.
A Walther PPKK deserves more respect. But yeah, this movie is kind of bad. It's a shame that it ends on such a whimper. Like at least Daniel Craig's movies.
Were you sad that he died, Colin?
I was more frustrated. Because again, it's like the movie really went out of its way to set up to the point where Bond dies, and it's just so underwhelming and it's so badly developed.
I was gonna mention the director, he's clearly not English. Why did they let a non? Because don't they usually like try to have, only English people or, people from the UK work on this?
Yeah, he's the first American.
Yeah, why'd they let that happen?
I don't know.
It's one of those things like, they keep it, it's kind of like a cultural thing. It's very English character. They should try to only have let English or people from the UK work on it.
Well, one of the people who own Bond is American.
Oh,
Yeah, I bet you
I
didn't know
don't,
that.
I don't know. Just because I feel like, some things just characters should belong to other cultures. I mean,
Get
that's
with times,
American.
Craig.
Yeah,
For the
James Bond is
longest
not a.
time, before uh, Albert R. Broccoli died, he was American. He owned the Bond series.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was also going to ask you, Colin, when was the movie originally? When was it supposed to come out? Like what
It's
year?
like April 2020.
Oh,
oof.
so it didn't get postponed that long.
It got
Supposed to be a year
postponed
and a
over a
half, right?
year. It came out in October 2021.
Oh, I didn't know if it was supposed to come out because Spectre. It's 6 years between this and Spectre. I didn't know if it was supposed to come out, like 2018 or 19. Like, because they
Well,
were
I
usually
think
doing
it
it.
originally was, but then the director stepped down and they had to like rewrite the whole script. So I would imagine in a perfect world it's supposed to come out maybe 2018, 2019.
Yeah, because they were doing like a 3 year gap between most of the movies, or at least 2 to 3 years. So
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame. This is how they don't Craig the best Bond. This is how they treat his last movie. Such a
Yeah,
shame.
not a great way to go out, but with like a whimper.
Yeah, I think this is better directed than Spectre, but Spectre didn't frustrate me to the degree that this movie did.
Well, that's what happens like when you're like a finale of sorts. I mean, there's a lot more expectations of how it's gonna end and stuff.
Well, one of the things you can absolutely not get wrong in a Bond movie is the villain, because then that could ruin the whole movie. Because you know what they say, like a villain's only good, your hero's only as good as his villain, whatnot. And he's just so bad. I cannot stress enough how bad he is.
And is he another good actor too? But like they just make him like because I think they drug these people.
Well, he won the Oscar for Bohemian Rhapsody, which by the way I don't think he should have won because I saw Bohemian Rhapsody
He
and that is,
did.
yes, that is not a good movie. He seemed like one of the Hollywood Boulevard impersonators of Freddie Mercury. He did not do a good job, I thought. He was going more for an impression rather than being the character. Like you guys probably haven't seen Rocket Man, where
I have
Taron
not.
Egerton plays Elton John. He did a much better job as Elton John than Rami
were,
Malek as Freddie Mercury.
were they going up against each other for the Oscar?
No, they came out a year later, or Rocket Man
Uh,
came out a year later. But I'm just saying, like that's how you do a performance based on a living person. You try to be the person, but also bring your own thing to it. He just went on for a dead-on impression. You don't do that. It just seems weird. So yeah, somehow this guy won an Oscar, a Best Actor, and he did terrible. He was pretty bad.
you didn't like his father's garden,
Again, I think
whatever that
they
weird
try
thing
to
was.
introduce. He had that Japanese mask, and you think he's going to use that through the whole movie, but he only uses it in the opening.
Yeah, just be like really creepy and whatever.
He's
He's
not even
really
like
creepy because he's terrorizing a child, not because he's really himself creepy.
he's a predator of children. Yeah, none of the other Bond movies have whiffed on a villain quite like this. At least you could understand the villain, and I would honestly take the guy from Die Another Day. That guy and him wanting to shoot a laser through the North and South Korean border. I would take that guy over
Wait,
Saturn.
what? Like shoot, just straight up
He wanted to
what?
destroy the North and South Korean border with a giant laser in the sky. He's the guy that he gets sucked into a propeller in an airplane. He says, "Time to face destiny." Then as Bond kills him, he says, "Time to face gravity," and it kills him. That guy, I would have him over Safin easily.
I can tell you didn't really like him.
I hate him. He's so bad. It's again, as he said. I don't want to repeat myself, but this is the guy that brings Bond to his knees and essentially breaks him. This guy, it's just unbelievable. It's just not believable.
Just not believable, God. But now I was going to ask,
yes, Craig.
where do they go now? Are they going to recast James Bond again?
Yeah, they're gonna get another actor probably.
Because I don't know. I was thinking, my limited knowledge of James Bond, but I really feel like James Bond is a product of the Cold War.
Yeah, they should explore doing a movie that takes place in the 50s or 60s.
'Cause, I mean, obviously these movies were fine in the modern age, but to me, I feel like James Bond, like being a spy for spy, that's more of a Cold War thing. Like, you don't really have, I guess, spies, in this day and age. And I feel like that was also like a thing with the movies too. Like, it was basically like the same sort of villain, some guy, just some corrupt government official, or some super secret organization or whatever.
Well, yeah, again, it's like a spy thing. Because you don't want to do what Mission Impossible is doing. And Mission Impossible, what they're doing is fine, but they're more ridiculous and they're more
When
extravagant.
you, Wait, those are by like the stunts and
Yeah,
crucial to kill
they're just
himself.
doing crazy things in those movies. And Tom Cruise is running around like an old man. You don't want to copy that if you're
Oh, yeah,
James
not to
Bond.
copy that. It's just
No, I know what you're saying. They should definitely look into doing a movie that takes place in the 50s and 60s. Because you're kind of running out of options on what you can do with your villains in a modern setting.
because like if you make another one, like what's really gonna be what? I mean, again, you could say the same with making a movie in the Cold War. What's different from the old ones? Fair enough, but I feel like if you were to make new James Bond movies like in this day and age or beyond, it's gonna be basically the same thing. Like
Yeah.
fighting some shadow organization or whatever.
They're gonna bring back Felix, fight him and his undead army.
Bond has to fight Felix and Mathis. Two corpses. So how would you rank the movies, the Daniel Craig 5 Bond movies?
Pretty easy. It's Casino Royale, Skyfall, Spectre. I guess the last two is the hardest. I mean, this one I guess made you more angry, but I felt like it was better than Quantum of Solace because I just felt assaulted.
Yeah, I agree with that ranking.
See, it's hard to. I'd put Skyfall and Spectre at 1 because again they're two very different movies and I like them equally.
You said Skyfall and Spectre at one.
Oh no, Casino Royale. Oh God, no! I meant Skyfall and Casino Royale. I was looking at a picture of Spectre.
He just lied this whole
Yeah, I
episode.
just
Yeah,
lied.
is that a Freudian slip, Colin?
I don't know what would be 3. Maybe Spectre at 3. It's hard to say about because No Time to Die at points can be really good, and then it's really bad. Quantum of Solace is more in the middle the whole time. It's consistently middling, I could say,
It's
for
bad.
Quantum of Solace. No Time to Die is is a mess. I don't know. I think I might put No Time to Die the last. It's
Fair
hard to
enough.
say. It's hard to say. I think at least the villain in Quantum of Solace didn't make me mad. And he wasn't trying to kill the world with a virus. Yeah, I think that's how I'd rank them. Any final thoughts, boys?
Who do you think they should cast to be the next James Bond?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know these English actors too well.
What about Jane?
No, they definitely shouldn't do that. Even Daniel Craig said don't do that.
I don't know. These people just
What did he say with that when they asked
He
him?
said if you're gonna do that kind of story, make a better character for a woman. Don't like just do James Bond with a woman.
But these
It,
people are hacks. Of
take an
course they're not going to
established
do that.
character.
They're not okay. So at least the James Bond movies and who owns them, they're not entirely hacks. If JJ, oh god, if they hire JJ Abrams, I would have zero interest in watching if they hire him as a director.
Well, and they shouldn't in general, just because he's not English or whatever. But
Yeah, but they hired this guy as American, so
yeah,
anything goes.
I don't know. Just it doesn't look. I don't know. I wouldn't have high expectations just with the way the people that hire these days. Just a bunch of incompetent idiots.
The future looks bleak for James Bond, needless to say.
So, so Colin, how would you rank the James Bond, the actors?
Oof. Daniel Craig number one. Timothy Dalton maybe number two. Then Connery. Uh, Brosnan, and then Roger Moore, and then George Lazenby. And George Lazenby's only last because he was in one movie. I thought Roger. A lot of people like Roger Moore because they grew up with him. He was from 73 to 85. And he's terrible. I thought he was pretty bad as Bond. Because he was in 7 movies. And he was 58 by his last one, and yeah. Not good. Not good. And for Brosnan, at least, his movies were bad, but he wasn't why they were bad. So, I mean, I know I make fun of him a lot in his movies, but he was never the reason why they were bad.
It wasn't the other one, the guy from Simon Skinner. He was just in like 2 movies,
Yeah,
right?
Timothy Dalton, yeah. And he was Daniel Craig before Daniel Craig, because he was more serious, but he came after Roger Moore, who was goofy, and a lot of people didn't like that.
Uh,
Yeah, so he took a lot of heat.
giving him heat.
My, he was tenacious.
Here come the fuzz.
But overall, they're all, even though we ranked them and we went through all of them, they're still, they're fun movies. For the most part, you know what to expect with them. You know.
They're mostly watchable, except Quantum of Solace at times.
Like, actually, you can't watch it.
It will give you a headache. I think
But
that's. Oh, you gonna say something else?
no, I really did enjoy Daniel Craig. I don't know if I don't know if the movies could have been as enjoyable if he wasn't. If he
Oh,
wasn't
probably
Bond.
not. Yeah, I don't think so.
Unless it was Vin Diesel, but that's different.
Are you in this upset? You mention this guy every week. Jeez.
I said Vin Diesel.
Yeah, him and The Rock. You mention every week.
This might be the first time I've mentioned Vin Diesel.
Are you sad that the Fast 10 director stepped down?
Well, I think we're getting a little off topic here, but
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. We need to catch Daniel's reaction live. Maybe you can start crying.
Dana, why is your shirt off and you're next to a Rock poster?
Do I really need to explain that?
That's
Next
true.
to your rock shrine.
Why is there ketchup next to you?
Gotta have a little ketchup with your pebbles.
Oh my god. All right, well, that's been our episode. I don't know what to say because Dana looks like he's getting very comfortable with that Rock poster. So I've been Colin.
I'm Craig.
And I'm Daniel.
Yep, that's been our episode.